Welcome back. Tripathi, Chairman and Managing Director of Gail, now joins us to talk about the implications of new proposed gas hike and how will that change life for Gail. Mr. Tripathi, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I guess my introduction was the question in itself. How will life change for Gail after 1st of April 2014?
Very present. Good morning. As far as Gail is concerned, we look at this in two time horizon. One is the midterm and second is the long term. In long term, it is good for both oil and gas sector because we expect more investment to take place in upstream and the production should go up, the domestic productions, and the new investment should come in the deep water, ultra deep waters, and there will be some kind of certainty to the upstream players. So this will increase the volume coming from domestic market, which will be good for Gail and good for all the downstream consumers. As far as our infrastructure capacity is concerned, will be utilized to a higher capacity. And in the midterm, definitely we see that some volume which is already a discovered field, especially in the East Coast, will come to the market. And we'll see that both the upstream producer, the midstream and downstream, all the players will get the gas, the required quantity of gas, and the import to that extent will be reduced.
Mr. Tripathi, hi. There's some confusion among the analyst fraternity on whether or not you're going to have to continue bearing subsidy in light of the gas price hike. Have you had any discussion with the government in this regard?
See, with this increase in gas price, we have the tariff of the pipeline will go slightly up, which is passed through to the consumer. It doesn't have any impact on Gail. As far as the cost of production of LPG and petrochemical definitely will go up. But to that extent, we already had the understanding and discussion with the government where there is a comfort given by the government that Gail will be compensated accordingly. Whatever is the impact in the LPG production because of the gas price hikes will be compensated. And practically going forward, if the gas price remains at this level, what is being projected, $7, $8, $9, the subsidy burden of Gail will reduce substantially.
So, Mr. Tripathi, what you're indicating is that whichever way one cuts and dissects the news, increase in the gas prices is positive for Gail?
I would look at this way that increase in gas price will help us to increase the domestic gas production, will help us to make more and more investment in upstream, will help us to bring the foreign investment, the new technologies which are required for the deep water, ultra deep water. So therefore, the overall the sentiments are high, sentiments are positive, I would say, and this will help us to produce more gas, and which ultimately will help everybody down the line, whether it is midstream and downstream. So overall, it is a positive sentiment. The only thing is we have to look at midterm and a long-term perspective.
What about the transmission business? Would that significantly see an upscale?
You see, as far as transmission is concerned, we have two ways to look at it. One is the capacity utilization of pipelines. So with this increase in gas price, the more gas production starts, so that capacity utilization will increase. Second issue is coming into the adding of new capacity in the pipeline. Once we see there is more and more production happening, Gail has already planned for another 3,000, 4,000 kilometer gas pipeline which are authorized to Gail. The projects are approved by the board. We'll try to synchronize and bring in more projects so that the gas reaches the new market in the country. And we are able to create some sort of a national gas grid. So this will enable us to make investment in the long term for future. This will help us to utilize the higher capacity for the pipeline. And the third thing is the differential price between the domestic gas and the imported gas has reduced substantially after this revision, so which will not keep the people who are dependent on the imported gas at a much disadvantaged positions. So overall, if you look at it, this will help the sector move forward.
Can you outline your projected capex for FY14 and FY15, and after an increase in gas price, are you likely to rework your capex numbers?
See, for the current financial year, our capex plan are almost 7,500 crores, which are largely towards the petrochemicals, and the small amount is towards the pipeline which are under execution right now. But going forward in 2014, 15, 16, we already have planned for another 20,000 crore investment lined up for two major pipelines going from west to east. Now these will happen depending upon how the development takes place in the upstream and how do we see the projections being given by the upstream players. So we'll try to evaluate the position at that time, and further the investment happening in the downstream in fertilizer and power sector, and especially in the local distribution sector and other industry who are going to consume the gas. But as of now, if you look at the next 4 or 5 years plan, we have almost 25,000 crore projects available with us.
GAIL also has a serious presence or serious global presence in the oil stroke gas exploration business. But of late, we haven't heard anything big from you. Why is that?
If you have not heard, you can say that things are being examined and evaluated. So in a very near future, we will be making some progress in that, and then we'll come and share with you the detail. But as of now, another important thing which is happening, that the first import of gas based on the Henry Hub indexation from US will start in 2017, and which is indexed to the Henry Hub, and the prices for that are comparatively very, very good for the Indian market. So that all the approvals from the US government, all the approvals from the respective regulatory authorities are in place, and this contract is in force, and we expect from 2017 onward, the LNG based on the Henry Hub indexation based on shale gas production in the US will start moving to the Indian market.
What's the status then on the Kochi Bangalore pipeline?
Come again, I'm not getting you.
The Kochi Bangalore pipeline, what's the status there?
See, the pipeline from Dabhol to Bangalore and Goa has already been commissioned. It is supplying gas to fertilizer plants in Goa and power plants in Goa and host of industry in Karnataka. The second pipeline, which is to start from Kochi to Mangalore and Kochi to Bangalore, as far as the portion from Kochi to Mangalore is concerned, the first phase of pipeline is already complete. We are just waiting for LNG terminal to be commissioned sometime next month. In that, we will be able to supply gas to the consumer around Kochi, the refinery, the fertilizer plant, the power plants. And further, the pipeline construction towards Mangalore is happening as per the plan. Of course, right now there is a monsoon season going on, so the construction activities are at a low pace, but the work is moving on smoothly in Kerala. We have some problem in Tamil Nadu as far as the right-of-way is concerned, so that we are discussing with the government, and this matter is being heard in the High Court also. We hope in a couple of months' time we'll have a clarity on that, and then we will take the spur line from a place called Kasargod to Bangalore also in maybe by end of this year or beginning of next year.
Irrespective of the policy environment, Mr. Tripathi, what is your grand vision for GAIL? This is FY14. By FY16, FY17, what kind of profitability do you think GAIL is likely to report?
You see, we have been growing on an average almost 14 to 15% after the subsidy, and we will continue to grow, if not more, at least the same pace, and we hope going forward the subsidy burden will reduce, and GAIL will continue to register a growth almost around 20% on top line and almost 14-15% in bottom line.
You also have a sizable petrochemical business. With what's happening to China, are you worried about the near-term prospects of your petrochemical business?
See, as far as petrochemical is concerned, we are right now producing 450,000 tons of polymer, and is being consumed in the market very easily. There's no problem. The prices are good, the demand is good, and the expansion of our petrochemical plants in Uttar Pradesh is ahead of schedule, and we are expecting that this expansion will happen by end of this year, by December this year. And the first quarter of this financial year, we'll have the production coming from the new plant also. And by the end of financial year 14-15, we'll have the Assam gas cracker production also available to us. The OPAL, which is being done along with the ONGC in Gujarat, will also be available for production. So put together, by the end of 2014 and beginning of 2015, the GAIL's portfolio of petrochemical will increase 3 times from the current level of 450,000 tons to almost 1.6 million tons. And the first production will start from our plant at Patna in Uttar Pradesh sometime by January next year.
Okay, Mr. Tripathi, good to have you on board with us. Great chatting with you. Appreciate you taking the time out and joining us today. Let's see what the Gail
Thank you.
stock price is currently up to in trade. That will just come up for you on your screens. Meantime, let's also tell you what the BNSN stock game participants are up to. That's Gail.